This is OpenBase63, and we're playing around with Heads Will Roll, which has been changed for ANDROXUS this patch. This legendary card now gives 2 extra shots to your revolver on top of the extra headshot bonus damage. And also, the other legendary card that's been used a lot, Darkstalker, has also been nerfed from 30% extra damage to 20% once you get to the health pool threshold. Now, this game is interesting as well, because it actually has me tilting a little bit at the start of the game, and then having to catch up and compensate for, I guess, my mood from what happens. So, as we roll into this, it's interesting to note that the legendary card it's an interesting buff, because it is definitely a consideration now over the Darkstalker. You see, I didn't actually notice there was a Drogos floating in midair, and oh no, I can't go through the teleporter. I wonder why. And then just ping back. All down to 300 health, could do nothing about it, dragged all the way back. And actually, I think even more demoralizing is I almost won that duel with the Drogos, which I think probably at the time tilted me more than if I hadn't have actually had any chance against the Drogos. And actually, in a second as well, you'll see something that also tilts me, but this has pretty much set me off. So I think that there's a lot of mind games, and it's interesting watching the PPL, the Premier League, being played out, and that final's already gone on, no spoilers. But a lot of mind games were going on there. They actually put the people close together so they could shout at each other, and I think that the pressure got to some of the teams. It was quite noticeable how shaken up some of the teams were during the matches, and apparently there was a lot of shouting going on. But like I've always said, that mood tilting can really have an effect in your game, and I don't think I'm having smart plays really. I am trying to come around and get to the Kinessa, because she's kind of pinning everybody down. This is her map, and it's difficult for people to respond. We get taken down, and actually now you can see in the chat why I'm getting a bit tilted as well. So Genos is complaining. He's like, "You don't kill the Kinessa, we lost," ANDROXUS, so blaming me. I was just like, dude, I couldn't even get to him like that, which is true. Sometimes when people give excuses, they are real excuses. And also, I like to mention that this isn't a hi-rez issue, it's an issue on my end. Just my internet's not been very good. We had the engineers out the other day. I don't know whether the lag's got worse in other respects. Like I don't know whether it's my internet or whether it's the game. Instead of lagging out a bit and having a bit of derpy connection, it's instead basically taking me out of the game completely. So anyway, I was able to clean up the EV. I almost killed the Drogos. I am still not great with the new ANDROXUS with the controlling the aim. It's more of a rhythm than the actual aim, because before you could flick shot ANDROXUS and hit every shot without having to worry about the rhythm so much, because each shot was accurate, which I used to be great at. Well, I used to be good at ANDROXUS. Like back then, I'm not playing as higher elo, but I used to consider myself a decent ANDROXUS, but now not so much, even though he's probably better than he was. So I did get caught out there. I still think that I'm not getting my positioning right. I went there, I could have gone down and tried to get to that Kinessa, because I knew that the Kinessa was going to come to one of the front towers. I didn't have to stay where I was. I should have probably gone underneath to get cover and come around, but I decided not to do that. I could have even gone around to the right. I could have picked up a duel with somebody and then gone for the Kinessa there. Again, I think I picked up the wrong location. I was thinking, oh yeah, I need to come to the Kinessa, but this side I shouldn't have come to. So again, if the Kinessa was on that side, I would have been at a disadvantage. But actually the Kinessa's on our right, which is also a disadvantage, which is bad for me. And I can actually see them throw down the mine, but I don't think I actually noticed them, which is pretty bad actually. Actually, they were in the back here, and I was waiting around for the Kinessa, but also I didn't realize my whole team had gone down. I think at this moment I was like, I can either carry on being a little bit moody, or I've got to try and pull my britches up and get going. And I think also because the momentum's been taken away now, and because my mood's collected, I'm able to calm myself down and think, I gotta do this. And then the Charlene saying the Kinessa's outplaying us, I'm just like, no, it's fine. We need hard flanking, so pressure's on, guys. I don't know. I don't think this sort of short talk when you're in a team is that great. It's just, I think, you know, talking to somebody say, oh, can you please flank the Kinessa is good, but piling on the pressure, maybe not so much. I mean, I do respond to this game, but it's a bit difficult. The thing is, as well, let's talk about the Heads Will Roll. So you get those extra shots. I think that good for newer players maybe. If you're missing a few of your shots, you can carry it on. The one downside of it is obviously because the control with ANDROXUS lowers, so you get less control as you go on. Thankfully picking up the Drogus there. Didn't even turn around to react to me there. I was hoping to get over to the Knessa straight away. Knessa didn't react to me. I screwed up the nether steps there. I think I'm like 10% off what the old ANDROXUS was, so I guess maybe it's just the muscle memory of the old nether steps that I'm used to, so I only just didn't make it to the ledge there. So it is, I mean, it's still pretty close to what it is with the cards I've currently got, but I think it is 10% off what it was before, what it originally was. 2 headshots there as well. So the first like 2 or 3 shots on your pistol are pretty much dead accurate, so you can be quite effective with that. So at the moment the enemy team are sort of coming in drips and drabs, so we got kind of lucky in how they're coming through. I mean, I don't know why I shot the Fernando there, but I was able to spin my reversal around because that Fernando was ulting and he wasn't going to move. I actually had a really easy reversal there to reset my cooldowns. I think I'll go over my loadout with ANDROXUS. I was thinking of doing an A to Z sort of loadouts for each of the champions, and obviously ANDROXUS is first, so I think maybe I'll do a video very shortly on the loadout I'm currently using for ANDROXUS, which also compensates for the nether step with some of the nether step movement legendary, and also trying to take into consideration some of the resets. So I've got the card where you reset the reversal reset the nether step with reversal, and also you're resetting your reversal by shooting enemies. And also, I guess that works as well with head roll because you're getting the 8 shots off. I mean, theoretically, you still are reloading, but because you've got 8 shots, you're going to be reloading less of the time. I do wonder as well how much more it's important to have the card in my deck where on the nether steps I get some ammo back, but with heads roll, do you need it as much? And the other downside of heads roll is, as I've always said with ANDROXUS and headshots in Paladins, is that it's a bit harder to get headshots in this game just because a lot of the champions don't have a well-defined head. And also, how the hell did I hit my reversal there? I was definitely under the ground. And actually, I don't think I'm lagging here. I think my ping's about 50, or 45, 50, which is normal for me. It's not the best, but it's decent. I actually get duped a few times here by where the Knessa goes. I thought that they'd send their teleporter over here, but I think they'd actually send it behind, further towards their spawn. So I guess I wasn't watching enough. Eevee coming around to duel me. Eevee's one of the champions actually that is actually relatively easy to take on as an ANDROXUS now, because you can dodge into the air away from their projectiles, but also you can sort of get your pinpoint shots off on the enemy. I mean, that was kind of ballsy going against the Knessa there, trying to pick them off in a sniping battle. Somehow I was able to make them push back, but I probably shouldn't have done that. I should have been focusing, I don't know, maybe on the other champions or getting closer to the Knessa, closing the gap so I could kill her. Like now, I've closed the gap, dodged a bit to miss some of her shots and was able to take her down. Again, now the enemy team have split up a bit, and I'm in the situation like the first round where all their teammates are down and not with the point. Although the Grok is able to come and challenge me, and because I got the heal and because they're survival, they're almost like a mini tank themselves. It was a little bit of a burst to try and take them down, and because I was low, I used a payload there as cover to try and stop anything, especially the Knessa, from shooting me down before the push went through, and the reversal just to finish it out. I think Timbermill is probably my worst map, or at least I struggle more on Timbermill than I do some other maps. Here I went Cauterize 2. I could have gone for the Cauterize 3 actually, but they only have the main healer Grok, and they've got a team that's kind of split up, so I wasn't as all in with that, so that's why I went a bit more of the damage reduction. Went a little bit of Master Riding because I was kind of hoping to get more towards their back lines, because they've got Master Riding 2 on 2 of their champions, so they're going to be coming around quite fast, so I might not have been able to get to the Knessa, which I was worrying about. Again, the Eevee's trying to come around and duel me, which is, you know, I was able to deal with that. We've actually got some good heals coming through from the Genos, even if they were complaining about me. Basically, their heals are just keeping me up all the time, and I think they've got the damage bonus legendary, so I think I'm getting the damage every time I go through. They are kind of babysitting me. If you notice, like, the Genos heal is pretty much on all of the time, which was thankful, as I was able to carry me through so I could take them on. So the Knessa just died there to the Genos ulti, which is interesting. But I mean, with the shortened wind-up time of the ultimate, people are dying more often to it. The Eevee I spotted come around, just wanted to try and pick them off. I could have gone forwards and tried to knock all the enemy team off of their mounts, which could have been an option too, which I am going sort of around to do now, but I was a bit late. I was able to catch the Canessa though as he came in. My teammates actually took that out though. The Vivian here actually is quite, maybe not the best thing. The Vivian's definitely overperforming in a lot of matches at the moment, but on Timber Mill, and especially against Canessa, she's going to struggle to close the gap, and the Canessa will be able to take those pot shots even below their shield, getting full damage shots off at her. So I think this is maybe one of the times that she's not actually that great. Here though, this is not, because I'm so used to the old ANDROXUS, I mean, yeah, that's kind of embarrassing, trying to shoot that mine. Here again, I thought the Canessa was on this side, because I thought I heard them come around, so that's why I tried to flank on this side, but thinking about it, I could have... And also, I won the duel there, but slowly just drifted off the edge. Slow drift on the edge. So here I did take the Master Riding too. I am actually only matching the Canessa, but I think it was like in response to maybe pushing this payload, but also the idea that at the start of the next round I might need it to come around to the Canessa as fast as possible to try and take them out. Somehow missed my nether step by reversal there to get my nether steps back off. I shouldn't have done that. I maybe panicked a little bit, and because there was a clump of enemies, I didn't focus on one person. You should really just focus on one person and just calm it down when you're firing back your reversal, because they aren't that hard to hit, especially when you have the card with the reduction, and you can reset your nether steps. It's important to get that off. Here, just a bit derpy. I was on... I mean... Just generally, I'm going forwards quite a lot. We've got two backline damage here. The Charlins not being as aggressive as maybe they could be, but yeah, I was caught out on my own, so partly my own positioning there. There is a problem here because two of our allies are down. Maybe I see here, I stop at this point. I'm maybe being a bit too confident here, but I thought I could duel one of them and one might come through, which thankfully they did. The Eevee came through. This is a bad idea. I shouldn't have tried to duel the Canessa at that range. I was just like, yeah, I can throw back a reversal at them. Yeah, it'll be fine. And it didn't really work out, but somehow we're able to pull it off in not dying. And now I'm just trying to flank up on them. I should have just thought about it. The Canessa was going to go. I should have known that. And then I was going to be stuck in a bit of an unfavorable fight. I should have maybe gone to the second tower where they normally are, and you kind of want to conquer when you're coming into the point. So positioning wise, I think I made a mistake there. Again, Timber Mill's probably one of my worst maps, and I often don't get in the right position. And there's a bit of panicking this match as well, because it is kind of close, and doing quite a bit of work, I'd say, in this match. I mean, coming around the back, just trying to pick somebody off. The Drogus actually got a bit lucky there to get off basically all of their shots just splash behind me. Do I lose this? No, I won the fight, but then sniped out. It's just painful when you win the duels and then you die anyway. I mean, I guess like the problem is closing the gap to the other side. Because there's a lot of space in Timber Mill, I guess is the thing. It's not necessarily just the verticality of the map. There's just a lot of empty space, dead space, where you need to close the gap. And I mean, I've slightly got worse dashes this match, but not completely. Anyway, it's going better now. It's going better, but I mean, it's still 3-3. And I mean, the first round and the second round I was kind of tilted, but the first round I just couldn't do anything because of that lag. I mean, I could have earlier gone for the Cauterize, but I went for the Life Rip there. I'm getting into a lot of duels, so we're going in there. Generous is asking if Master Riding is good. Depends on the map. If it's a long map, then yes. If the enemy team are picking us up and there's a reason for it, like the Canessa wants to get into position all the time, I kind of want to get past where the Canessa is so they don't shoot me before I get there. I don't think I actually make it this time. Okay, I've changed it up, so I've gone on the left side every time. This time I'm like, well, I need to go on the right. I did see the Eevee go past, and I was like, well, I need to just ignore them, let them go past. Well, that was kind of derpy. The Canessa, if they'd have come around the other side, could have probably killed me there. Thankfully, the Grok didn't go into the Ghost Walk, because that could have stopped me from getting my reset off. And if I had the Cauterize 3 here, I think I would have killed the Grok without using the ulti. I just wanted to burst him down as fast as possible. I did get a nice little headshot off there. And also, again, embarrassingly, I think it's hitting the mines, which are immovable objects, that stops me. And also there, Knessa getting so lucky to be body blocked by the Eevee. So another little tip for everybody, body blocking is sometimes important. Getting in front of an ally that is going to go down. It doesn't really matter who you are. Maybe if you can stop them from dying, getting in front of somebody can be a tactic. I don't know whether the Eevee meant to do that, but they did save the Knessa for a little bit until they didn't get away from our reversal. As you know, we had that heat-seeking reversal missile going for the Knessa there. Again, I mean, closing the gap, trying to come on the left-hand side. Here there is more cover, and I know that I can go underneath and then come up, because then the Knessa can't see me, which is, I guess, is a bigger thing. But then I couldn't see the Knessa because they hadn't come over the side, but then I was able to come around on them. They went in. Oh, I made a mistake there because I thought they jumped onto the point as a last-dish defense as they were trying to get onto the point because they thought that Fernando was going to die. So I actually misjudged that. I should have been watching more closely as to where they'd thrown it. So getting bamboozled, I think maybe that's my downside this time around. A little bit of positioning and sometimes getting bamboozled by where that Knessa was going to go when I shouldn't have really been. But anyway, that was a pretty interesting match. It was pretty decent, and the Eevee got the top play here. Let's see how this one pans out. So Donio here on the Eevee. It's slaying that Genos. It's this when it's okay. It's this second push. So when I was I was like, it's fine. My team can handle the two people that are pushing. It'll be fine. Okay, I guess it's 3. So Fernando, Eevee, and the Grok. So maybe I should have come back earlier. But 33 killing blows, so 33 kills. It's not too bad. And 114,000 damage over that match. And I think nicely we've been able to out-damage the Vivian, who I guess did have maybe a bit of a struggle this match. And I mean, Timbermill, the sort of verticality, she can't go up anywhere. Her movement isn't great. And against the Eevee, I guess even the Drogos to some degree just struggle a bit. And the Knessa can just pick them off. But that was a good game. Me missing some of the shots and readjusting, you can see how those extra 2 shots in your chamber can really help you out. Whether it's better than Darkstalker, because Darkstalker you get that extra damage instantly. And because of the way ANDROXUS is working now, you're basically getting people's faces. You're basically bursting them down as quickly as possible. Whereas with Heads Will Roll, the bonus damage comes from not having to reload, and also those headshots, which are not always going to be guaranteed and are a bit harder with controlling ANDROXUS' new pistol as well, with the loss of accuracy, and because it's a random accuracy you can't really compensate for it apart from the rhythm and slowing down your shooting, and I guess that sort of also limits how much extra DPS you're putting out with your shots. But I mean, if you're in somebody's face and you're firing them off, you're probably going to get all your shots off anyway. Also, it's interesting to see how a game where at the start I was tilting, able to bring it back, and I think that without the momentum and after that second round, I had to really put on the pressure, but it could have gone either way. Anyway, what does everybody else think about the new Heads Will Roll legendary card? Are you going to be picking it up? Do you think it's worth it? Especially over the reversal card, which has been popular for a long time with the 800 instant damage, and because you can always set off your reset as long as you hit that reversal, it's quite a big deal. And with Darkstalker being nerfed from 30% extra damage to 20% when the enemies are under 40% of health, it is more enticing, but this is also enticing as well. I think it's actually kind of a decent buff and an interesting move to try and make this card viable. Be sure to let me know all your thoughts in the comment section below, and also about this match. And if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe for all my content, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching, everybody. Joshino.